Hello, this is Chad with Syncfusion, and a customer has a question about our JavaScript pivot table. Let's take a look. And here's the actual question. Customer wants to know how to customize the tooltip to show details about the row and column, and then, of course, the cell value. So let's take a look at what we did. Here is the sample that we made for this. And if you look over here on the right in the sample, I am mousing over it. We did a couple things. So India we put no data for mountain bikes. So the values are empty and we're not displaying a tooltip. Everywhere else, we're going to display a tooltip, and the tooltip is in the top right. If we wanted to change the location of the tooltip, then we can do it just like this. And it works exactly as you think it's going to work. If I do bottom right, then tooltip's going to be in the bottom right. So then you have top left, bottom left, all that. The logic works like you think it will, as far as the placement of the tooltip. Okay. Now, how did we populate that tooltip? We did a couple things. We are doing this before render. We're registering for the before render event. This is where we're going to determine what's going to show up in that tooltip. It's before the tooltip renders. That's the event we're following. And with a couple different things. We want the rows and the columns and the values. So the rows are here. And the row is easy. We're just going to pull out the text of whatever is in there. And the columns are similar. We're just going to pull out the details of whatever's in that cell. Okay, so let's take a look at it. The row header is the simplest one. I'm going to show it first. If the row headers, that's it. We're just going to pull out the inner text. That's all we're doing for the rows. Now that really is just that easy. Now the column headers, we need to do it. We need to do a little bit more complexity to it, because these are the column headers. If you expand this, you now have stacked header cell. These are stacked header cells. And these will go down as deep as you need. This logic here, whether it's header text or stacked header text, is going to determine where we're getting the value from. So the columns are a little bit different than the rows. Now we got to pull out the values as well. A couple things we're doing here. We're getting the row, column, and the cell objects. That's fairly required. And we're going to, if the cell actually has no data, then we're not going to populate the tooltip. So if you look, there's no tooltip here. All right. And we're doing that by, this is the content for the tooltip. This definition right here, where tooltip is null. Now we're going to go through and get all the details we need, the row field names, the column field names, all of that. And then we're actually going to populate the tooltip here. Now these first 4 data objects, the row, header, column header, that creates this little bit of data right here. That's what that gives us. And then down here, the actual cell, actual text, this is the bottom of that. So the sum of units sold and then the actual number. This is it. This is how you can customize your tooltip in our JavaScript pivot table. Thank you for watching.